What's up, everybody? Episode 20. We're digging into the Hilton Luxury Program. It has some amazing perks. We've already covered some old episodes like a Four Seasons, Hyatt Privé. This is a similar program that's going to cover most of the XLR, Conrad, Waldorf, Astoria properties to give you guys a quick snapshot of what you can get from booking with us. Is daily complimentary full breakfast for up to two people per room, complimentary room upgrade based on availability at check-in, $100 property credit once per stay, early check-in, late checkout subject to availability, and most properties will offer double Hilton Honors points, which is an insane perk to stack on top. Jamie, tell us about Hilton. What properties interest you? Where have you been? What you thinking?
Yeah, I really like this program. So some people may have heard of this before as the Impresario program. So it recently went through the rebrand to Hilton for Luxury. And I actually think I think it was a change for the good. One, their website for agents is much cleaner and easier to use. So when we're booking for you, it is a much better experience on our end. But they've also been running a lot more promos and some better rates and things like that. They also, I mean, we're not going to hit on this too much, but they rolled in Signia and Nomad in there now, which in the world, there's like 5 of those properties total. So, if you happen to be staying there, we can help you out, but we're not going to go too in depth there. We're talking about Waldorf LXR, that's not a brand that many people are probably familiar with, but there's maybe a 15 or so of them in the world. They're kind of luxury, not independent, but they're fairly unique properties. So there's some fun ones there. And then Conrad. I'm going to mostly focus on US and Mexico as I go through some properties because these are ones that I've booked pretty regularly and know that there's some really good deals out there now. First one I'm going to hit on is a new property. It's been open just over a year, is the Conrad in Orlando, and it is at the Evermore Resort. So for those not familiar with it, we did an episode on Evermore earlier. It's got this massive man-made lagoon, and it's made up of the Conrad Hotel and then a number of flats, villas, and luxury homes kind of all around the property. What's really cool with some of these rates and some of the promos going on right now, our Hilton for Luxury rates are actually cheaper than any publicly available rate for even like a prepaid Hilton Honors member rate. So I pulled up some random dates here. Where did we go? Conrad Orlando. I pulled some dates in September. This isn't the cheapest time of year to go, but if you look on their website, Hilton Honors member rate semi-flex is like $740 per night. And what that means, semi-flex, is, you can cancel like 10 days or 9 days before check-in. And that comes with nothing. Hilton for Luxury rate $682, comes with breakfast for 2 daily at Sophia's, $100 property credit, upgrade based on availability, welcome amenity, double Hilton Honors points. So, and you can still cancel up to, I think with this rate, it's 5 days before check-in maybe. So you're getting a better cancellation policy. You're getting a cheaper rate. You're getting all these added benefits. So there's some crazy value to be had, at some of these properties. Let's see. I can go into a few more. I'm going to hit Conrad's first.
Okay.
Another
What
one.
about, go.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you have anything on the new Conrad in Tulum?
Yep. So I actually do have that one. So this one's been open, maybe a year and a half, 2 years now. This is, when I say the pricing here is crazy, this may be the cheapest Conrad deal you can find in North America, other than maybe Vegas midweek.
Indianapolis.
Oh, all right, maybe. So the closest one you want to stay at. So this one I pulled, this is during the summer. So this is just mid-July. There's a 30% off promo going right now. So you can book a room for $285 a night before taxes and fees on there. And again, that's coming with breakfast for 2 daily, $100 property credit, welcome amenity, upgrade based on availability, those double Hilton points. So you're talking, you could go for, I'm just going to pull 5 nights and tell you what a total for 2 people would be. So you can go for 5 nights for $1,700 all in, taxes, fees, the whole shebang, which is, to me, that's a crazy good deal for a luxury property. One thing to think about too, when you're booking these, we're going to talk about some really good deals, but that double Hilton points is really a good deal. So you're going to get 20 Hilton points per dollar spent. And that's if you have no Hilton status at all whatsoever. And so that adds up really quick, right? If you're going to go stay, you're spending, this one, the base rate before tax and fees is $1,200. So you're going to earn 24,000 points or 25,000 points, like before you even, like, just from this quick, cheap, fairly affordable stay. So if you're booking an expensive, high end luxury stay, multiple rooms for, you and your family, like you can earn some Hilton points pretty quickly and get some free stays, on future stays.
Yeah, and one thing about Tulum, I think in the news, and I've seen a lot of things like on social, people have been posting the awful airport lines in Cancun. And the Conrad Riviera Maya Tulum, whatever they want to call it this month, is about an hour from Tulum Airport and about an hour and 40 minutes from Cancun Airport. The thing is, I don't think a lot of people even know Tulum has an airport. It opened in like December 2023, so it's brand new. And their passenger performance has been really low. Like they were I was reading that February 2025, I want to say it was, they had only done like they barely carried like 16,000 passengers through the airport, which, yeah. So part of the problem though is I think people don't even know about that airport. So I think a huge hack, for lack of a better word, is if you can find a flight that is, I would even pay a little bit more to go to Tulum just
I
because
agree.
it's an empty airport. In Mexico, I think the airport experience is usually not the most pleasurable. So if you can get in and out of the airport quickly, and especially for this property, it's closer, than, so it's like it's closer and a better airport. But I mean, just universally, I mean, not tied to this hotel, but if you're doing anything in Riviera Maya, I think looking at Tulum, and if you want to put it into Google Flights, it's TQO is the airport code for Tulum. But United's got some flights there, American's got some flights there. I think Delta has a few. Spirit has pulled out already. Spirit had like 16 or 20 flights and they've left completely. Now Spirit has other issues and bankruptcy and insolvency and another problem, but it didn't perform well for them. But I think that's just it, it's a good sign. And I imagine, I haven't done a ton of research, but the few times I've looked for myself considering going down there, the prices reflect that as well. Like I've seen Tulum being a little bit cheaper. So anyway, just a sub note that's unrelated, but get back in there, Jamie. Sorry.
All right, so I'm going to talk about a property in an area that I think a lot of people think price-wise is out of reach. And I was pretty shocked, as we were talking through some properties, what this priced at and how good a deal it was. We're going to go to the Maldives for this property, and we're going to do an overwater villa, so a sunrise water villa. And this is going to be at the Conrad in the Maldives, which you see a ton of this on social media. It's a very popular place. I believe it has a really good reef and stuff for snorkeling. It's well established. But there's a fourth night free promo going on right now. And it includes some pretty good benefits. So it's Hilton for luxury. So you're already getting, the breakfast for two daily, $100 property credit, upgrade based on availability, everything we've discussed. The rate is cheaper than the cheapest member prepaid rate. So the cheapest member prepaid rate is $658 per night before taxes. Hilton for luxury is $611 per night, and also includes a complimentary upgrade to half board and 25% off seaplane transfers. So this becomes a really, I'm not going to say cheap, but a very affordable stay if you can make it to the Maldives. I just pulled 4 nights because it was fourth night free, but if you could do 8 nights, even better. But you're looking at 2,900 kind of all in, taxes, fees, everything, for 4 nights in an overwater bungalow. So that to me that's a really great deal, whether you're looking for, that anniversary, birthday, honeymoon, something like that. This is a really good option.
2 things about this hotel as well that I find super interesting. Number one, you can eat dinner underwater, right? I don't remember the name of that restaurant, but there's like a restaurant, I'm sure we'll get some clips in here, that you literally can eat while being underwater, which is super cool. And if you happen to just have no budget, they actually have an underwater residence as well, which, I'm not going to lie to you, even if I had all the money in the world, I think I'd have a really hard time falling asleep underwater. Just, I don't know. Ugh. That kind of freaks me out a little too much, even though I'm sure it's fine. I maybe hang out there during the day and go sleep in an overwater villa at night. But that's just cool, interesting things about that property in particular. Um, and you had mentioned too when we were talking, I think even just going into what's the traditional overwater bungalows there was pretty cheap. Because obviously most people, if they think Maldives, they want to do the overwater bungalow, right? Like even the
Yeah,
upgrade
so
to that
so
wasn't
that
too
was
bad.
that was the overwater that I was talking about.
That
So
was the
there's
overwater.
yeah, there's
Ooh.
one that's a little cheaper that's a beach villa. Realistically, like the upgrade, the cost difference between, even going up to like a deluxe villa or something like that was not significant. One unique thing that I've actually seen a couple people do, mostly in social media, but you could do a stay, you know, I know you talked about this cool underwater villa. You could do one night there potentially. And what's really crazy to think, it is expensive. It's going to be like ten or $12,000 a night. So I'm not going to like lie and be like, oh, it's affordable. But if you're getting double Hilton points on that, all of a sudden you're earning quite a few points there that you could then use towards a free future stay somewhere. So it's a cool idea. You're right. You do 5 nights in a regular one and kind of end your trip with a unique splurge on an underwater villa that probably very, very few people in the world have ever got to do, which would be pretty cool.
I think I would just stop at eating dinner. I
Might
think
be the
that
same
would be my.
price. I think that dinner's expensive.
Oh, well,
No, I'm kidding. It's not that
I
bad.
mean, man, $10,000 dinner would hurt, but I'd like to at least eat dinner under there. I think.
That would be
I
awesome.
don't know. Staying overnight is.
Going to hit on another property. I think we've both stayed here. Another popular vacation destination is Grand Wailea in Hawaii. So Grand Wailea, a Waldorf Astoria resort in Maui. This is a very popular place. It's great for families. The pool area is amazing. The fitness center, I don't know if I'm sure you got to check it out when you were there, but I think it's one of the better hotel fitness centers. It's big. It's a very big fitness center. It was the first place I ever saw a tonal in person and got to play with one. So
Mm.
I assume they still probably have those there, which I thought was a neat thing. But they also right now have a pretty great promo going on with Hilton for Luxury. So 25% off, which makes it much more affordable than normal. And again, the cheapest, I just pulled a random 5 nights over the summer. The cheapest non refundable, prepaid, no cancellation, pay now rate is $1,010 per night. Hilton for Luxury with breakfast, with the property credit, all the other benefits, $795 a night. So this is one of those, if you're going already, it's definitely worth checking out the Hilton for Luxury program. It's typically going to be the same price and a lot of times cheaper if there's a good promo going on and you get all these additional benefits. So if you're already going to stay at one of these nice Hilton properties, let us take a look for you and see if we can't get you hopefully save you some money. And then even if we can't, hopefully get you some extra benefits and perks at the same price.
I'd like to give a little tip about this property too.
Yeah.
Uh, this property is great for kids, great for families. The water park, there's like it's hard to explain, but you've got all these slides that go down into the water park and everything. This is my tip here. If you want an actual luxury experience and you have a family, I would stay at this property and then I would pre-book every single dinner where you didn't want to leave property or be at the hotel and book it at the Four Seasons because they're next door to each other and you can just literally walk to the beachfront, walk around the corner and you're in the Four Seasons. I say that because I think the Grand Wailea is it is a big property, but I do think you feel pretty spread out. I never felt like it was overcrowded. The pools are huge. There's a lot of space. The beach is nice. The breakfast buffet is actually decent that you'll get with Hilton for Luxury. I didn't mind it. Every dinner I ate at that property was mediocrely disappointing and priced like it was a five-star restaurant. And like going back now, we ended up doing one night at the Four Seasons at the Italian restaurant, and I was like, man, I should have just done this every night because it's literally from we stayed on the side of the hotel closer to the Four Seasons in that newer tower that's really tall. You could walk from there to the restaurant at the Four Seasons faster than you could get across the Grand Wailea
That's
property
crazy.
anyway. Right. So I'm just like, man, and I generally we tried two or three of the restaurants there. And don't get me wrong, they're not bad if you don't mind overpaying on vacation for average food, it's fine. But like Either go off property or go to the Four Seasons. I just think the Four Seasons is nice because it's like you can kind of get a taste of everything going on at the Four Seasons, but you're not, Four Seasons is going to be 2, 3 times the price each night.
Yep.
That's my little hack there, but I do really like that. I do think that is probably the best family property in Maui for sure.
That's fair. I'll throw one more restaurant out that I really like if we're doing it. I
Okay.
like it there. I also like it if you go to Aulani or Koalina, the Four Seasons there. Monkey Pod Kitchen, I really like. It's right up the road. They normally do a happy hour, so you can get some appetizers and drinks and stuff pretty reasonable. So we did that while we were there. That's a cool spot to check out.
Nice. I like it.
I am going to talk about another property in one of my favorite cities because I'm a degenerate, and it is also the property with my favorite spa in Vegas. Waldorf Astoria, Las Vegas. It to me is a really great property. When it was built, it was a Mandarin Oriental, so it is a very nice, well built, like fancy property. Um, I really like the location of it. It is kind of dead center, like prime location on the strip. So you've got easy access to, everything in Vegas. So whether you're going to see shows, whatever that may be, it's a really good location. You also get uh, away from the casino. So this property does not have a casino, which some people love. Uh, so if you're going with family, this is a great spot because you're not having to walk through a smoky casino every time to get back to your hotel room. I really like this is kind of a unique feature. I really like in all the rooms they have these little cabinets that you can get room service through. I don't know what you call like a little butler pantry or something, but it's like they can deliver room service or anything without having to come in the room. They just like kind of open the door, put it in, then you open your cabinet and can pull it in through there, which is pretty cool. But my favorite part of this property is the spa and the sky bar. They do like an afternoon tea there, which is really cool. You got great views of the strip. But the spa itself, not massive, but the hot tub and I guess you call it hot tub, looks out over the Vegas Strip. So I love going there, just soaking in the tub, looking out at over over the strip, and then massage, tons of different steam rooms, experience showers, stuff like that. But again, the pricing here, particularly midweek, right? You go on the weekend, it can get pricier. But I did a Sunday through Friday in May, and the Hilton for luxury rate was $378 per night, which comes with the $60 breakfast for credit daily, $100 property credit, upgrade, all the amenities we've talked about, where the cheapest other rate available was $417. So if you're already going, Hilton for luxury is cheaper than anything publicly available that you can book, directly online with Hilton. So again, another fantastic property and a great deal. I'm going to hit one more Waldorf. Again, we've talked about this one. I don't know if we did a full episode on this or not, but Waldorf Astoria Park City, which is one of my favorite properties in the U.S. next to Baja Mar. I've probably stayed here more than any other hotel. And again, I pulled a random date in May, so post ski season, kind of spring weather, get out, do some hiking, things like that. The cheapest non-refundable rate you can get is $383 per night. Hilton for luxury, we're at like $350 a night, and that comes with the breakfast for two, $100 property credit, all the extra benefits. And I talk about these more so to highlight the fact that Hilton for luxury, a lot of times there's a promo or something going on that makes it cheaper than anything that's out there. And you get all these extra benefits and perks.
No, it's good. I want to give a shout out to, I just want to make sure we touch this property because I think it is the best Hilton property worldwide. It's got to be Waldorf Astoria Los Cabos.
Okay.
Just a great shout. I mean, I would have a hard time saying for me it's probably the best property in North America. Mind you, I haven't
would
been
agree.
to like Amangiri or so, there's probably a few places that could rival it. But it's definitely in the best properties in North America. It's done so well. You've got close access to the city. I don't think we threw it in here. It's also about to close for renovation, which I think that was probably its one weak point is some of the stuff in the rooms and some of those things felt a little dated. So when it comes out of this renovation, I want to say in like September, man, that's probably if you've never been there and you're like a Mexico fan, I think whether you're adults only, your kids, it is the place to be. And then it also same Hilton for luxury benefits would apply there as well.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I mean, we went last year for my birthday, so 2024 for my birthday. You went, I think, even more recently, but I can just remember like sitting in the pool, watching whales swim by. The service was fantastic. We were in the hot tub at night. I think the service is what really sets the place is beautiful, but the service is for North America. It's probably the best service I've ever had in North America. I mean, we're sitting in the hot tub at 8 o'clock at night, texting our butler, and they go to the bar and bring us drinks. Like we didn't even have to like get out of the hot tub to do anything. So, service there is really incredible.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's done very seamlessly and in a non-pretentious way, which I think is really nice. Like we had some situations there where our daughter wanted to go to the kids club when it wasn't open, and we just asked, and they found an employee that was willing to stay after hours and watch her on her own. And they didn't even charge us that much. I mean, I want to say they charged us like 35 or 45 an hour for that. And I'm like,
Yeah,
to
it's
make an
awesome.
employee stay late, like I was like, does that even cover their I'm sure it does, but like I was just like, wow. I mean, you'd think they'd put a really big premium on stuff like that. And then we ended up eating on property a lot of the days because we were just having so much fun on property. All the food there was so good.
Yeah, I know a lot of people talk about was it El Ferrone.
Hmm.
I mean, I know that's an expensive restaurant, but if you're staying there, you got to do it once because I mean, just sitting on the cliffside, I think it's pretty amazing.
I agree. I think that restaurant is like a one and done for me. It is a lot pricey. Um, but I do agree with you. If you're already staying there, you got to do it for like one dinner or special
Yep.
occasion.
Let's call out one more property. This is one that I have not stayed at yet. I've seen pictures, I've seen reviews. It looks really, I mean, I think it looks like a fantastic property. Oceana, Santa Monica. This is an LXR
Mm.
property. So this is in Santa Monica, California. Uh, and again, I'm mostly highlighting how great a deal Hilton for Luxury can be. Their non-refundable prepaid, like no cancellation rate, is $1,115. Hilton for Luxury is $989. So while it's not a cheap property, I mean you can get some extra benefits, save some money, and I mean if you're going to stay there, if you're paying for it already, like let us see what we can do for you.
Yeah, and we've had a few people that have booked there that have loved it. I think one of my friends who has stayed there has said she thinks it is her favorite hotel in America.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's very well traveled. So I haven't stayed there. I used to live, I don't know, 6 or 7 miles from that hotel. I will say that area is great, especially if you don't want to be driving in LA. You can get to a lot of stuff there. It does seem nice. It's got a very underwhelming layout in a way. Like it almost looks like a very, I don't know, it almost looks like a very like hip motel that they kind of like all the pools tiled over and some things. But they've also said like the service is great. There's like a bar that overlooks the ocean that you can kind of hang out and sit in. They really enjoyed. And, to be honest, there's not a lot of great luxury hotels in Los Angeles, and the few that are in existence are really expensive. So this one's in a really great location as far as tourism goes, and it's reasonably priced a lot of the time. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it's definitely one of the better properties in West LA. So something to think about there.
Yeah, and just that those were May dates, so I assume that's a pretty decent. Like the weather should be pretty decent in May, so it's not like off season or anything crazy like that.
There's no such thing
Um,
as off season. The weather's nice all year.
Now you sound like some of our other friends.
I'm just telling you. Listen,
All
as
right.
I know that we live in Texas and South Carolina where the weather is miserable 11 months out of the year, but you know, there's no bad time to be in Los Angeles. Maybe
Okay.
June. You got June gloom a little bit, but even then, it's
I think one other thing to call out with the Hilton for Luxury program, there is not a minimum stay. So if you're staying for one night, you can still book this. There's it's not a huge portfolio, right? I think between LXR, Conrad, Waldorf, worldwide, we're talking maybe 110 properties, 115 properties, something like that. Um, but I think they're all really great properties, right? There's not, I think consistently Waldorf I mean, we can call out a couple probably, but for the most part, I think these are some really good properties worldwide. So I think it's a great program. I love the change Hilton for Luxury. I think they've done a really good job with bringing out some great new promos, which makes the offer really compelling, especially for people that may already have status or typically just book direct. Right, you're getting some great pricing. You're still getting and you're earning more points than you would regularly. So it's definitely a program worth checking out, whether you're a already a Hilton loyalist or just looking for something different.
And let's give a shout out to two properties that I think you can stay in soon that are interesting is the Waldorf Astoria, New York, which I feel like you have to be familiar about for having a pulse and being alive. You certainly know what the outside of that building looks like. It's a very famous, you pull it up. That is reopening soon. And I want to say it was over $1 billion renovation they put into this property.
I feel like that thing's been under renovation for like 5 years. Like it's been under renovation for a long time.
I want to say even longer.
Longer? Yeah, it very well could be.
I wonder if I can pull up when it closed. 2017.
Yeah. Yeah. So 8 years in the making.
Wow. So yeah, it is set to open in 2025. Hopefully it will not be delayed, but it is, man, if you want a Waldorf Astoria to get excited about, or you want to go out of your way to stay at a Waldorf Astoria, I think this might be the one. It's 375 guest rooms and suites. So I would bookmark that. I think the location is fantastic. This renovation looks fantastic. The price is gonna hurt a little bit, but we'll help out where we can, try and find some things, it seems. And then the other one I want to give a shout out to is the Waldorf Astoria Admiralty Arch, which is opening in London. That building looks so cool. It is a building that was originally commissioned by King Edward VII in the memory of Queen Victoria, and they are now converting it into a Waldorf Astoria, which is pretty neat. It's going to be a pretty small property, especially for being in the city. It's 100 rooms and suites.
When's that?
They've got,
Do you have an opening date?
so I don't have an exact date, but it says 2026, which in my
Okay.
brain sounds super far away, but that could be like 9 months out.
Yeah.
That's another one to kind of bookmark as St. Regis coming in 2026 into London. Not to talk about other properties and not. And the Park Hyde obviously opened late last year as well. So London has a lot of exciting things going on. But I did want to touch on those. Do you have any opening soon Hiltons kind of on your radar that you're excited about?
I'm gonna call one out that I'm really bummed about because I was supposed to be staying there in 2 weeks. So the Waldorf Astoria in Costa Rica is opening on April 22nd. So I was supposed to check in on April 19th. And that is not happening for my spring break this year, but that is a property I'm really excited about. I'm still hoping to be able to get there this year at some point to do a review and, be able to share more about it. But that is one I'm really looking forward to. It's across the bay from Andaz Papagayo, it looks like. So I think it's going to be a cool location. Four Seasons Papagayo is right over there too. So it'll be a good location. The property looks really, really nice. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out.
Very cool. Yeah, I have a big Asia trip coming up and I was trying to rope in some of these Conrads and none of them were like in the perfect location for me, but hopefully on another trip I'll make it work. Oh, that's not true. I totally made that all up. I am staying at the Conrad Tokyo. I totally forgot. So I will have a full episode of the Conrad Tokyo, which it seems like one of the more exciting and nicer Conrads. My favorite hotel in Tokyo is still closed for renovation, so I will be at the Conrad Tokyo. So that'll also be coming up. So you missed Waldorf, Costa Rica. You have any other Hilton stays in the horizon? You're going back to Evermore, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm always going back to Evermore, but I think I'll be down there this summer, in July. What else do I have? I've got a couple other Hilton stays. I don't know that they're Hilton for luxury. I've got a SLH stay coming up in Lake Como, and then I'm hoping to get to the Hermitage at some point.
Oh, nice, nice. I've got Conrad Punta Mita on my radar just because I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. I really like Punta Mita, so I'm going to try and sneak that into a stay,
That'd be a good one.
I think, well. Here's another shout of a property I don't hear a lot of people talking about is I'm not going to say it correctly, but the Kailea Waikiki Beach. Maybe I did okay there. It's the old Trump Hotel in Waikiki. They rebranded the huge renovation in. How about this? I think a lot of people don't want to stay in Waikiki for understandable reasons. It's, kind of the whatever tourist center of Oahu, and it gets a little messy. This property is actually not on the Waikiki Strip. And if you want to do a lot of things in Oahu, you want to stay at a luxury hotel, but you also want to be near things, I think this might be the best property because it's before you get into the strip and it's kind of before you arrive. If you've ever stayed at the what's the big Hilton property there that's not come to me? The Hilton Hawaiian Village, Waikiki
Yeah.
Beach. It's
Yep.
very close to there. It's just kind of like across that big park. So the nice thing for me staying at this XLR is you can get in and out of town real quick. Like you can get out to Ala Moana Mall, which has tons of food and things. You can get over to the beach there, and then you can get out of town quickly. But you could also, if you don't mind walking, you can 10-minute walk and you're in the heart of Waikiki Beach down the strip. So that's another pretty interesting property. It prices pretty well. Considering it is a brand new luxury hotel, I think the bones from Trump Tower to the rooms are just all really large,
That's
which
good.
is nice. Yeah, it seems to have some nice amenities. I've had a few friends stay there. I have a friend that lives in the other side of Oahu who likes staying there when he goes into town. He said like the restaurant's pretty decent. It's like off the beach by like a block, but you have there's a really nice like public beach access that you can just go right down past the outrigger too. But that's probably a hotel I don't hear people talk about. So that's a nice shout of just another Hilton idea that exists.
I feel like that's a good wrap.
Yeah, I think so. Perfect. Well, we will be back. Jamie is going to be talking about the highest swimming pool in the world he's ever swam in, right? Is that next
It's
week?
true. Yeah. Yeah. Next week. It's a fun one. I think we got a couple records we're breaking in this episode.
Wow, I'm excited. We'll tune in next week. We will see you guys later.
So, yeah.